This is the first, I guess, legit sarcasm. I did like a rant earlier. This is our first live stream sarcasm, literally live streaming without hangouts, which made everything easy on YouTube, and they decided to make things extremely more difficult.
Yep. And we're working, so we got
awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you, Michael.
Awesome.
So I'm here with Michael. If anybody saw our last live stream, you should know him by now. He's been on quite a few of the last ones. He's one of our contributors and admins.
Yeah, so, I think I'm on pretty much every single live stream.
Yeah, you've been on.
I think it might be like 2 or 3 in the history of our live streams that I'm actually not on. So yeah, I think if anything, I'm
before you joined us, I think that you're not on. But then once you actually came onto our team, you've been pretty steady.
Yeah. I'm a pretty main character on this show.
And I like having Michael on here because I don't feel so bad for being drunk.
Yeah, right. We got the high libertarian, we got the drunk libertarian, we got all bases covered. If you happen to be a libertarian and a coke addict, we'd love to have you on to fulfill our circle.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like if you're drunk and high. Actually, I'll be honest. My back was kind of hurting today, so I'm on my pain meds earlier, so I'm kind of in the sweet spot of both a little bit high and drunk. So we'll see how this stream goes.
Yeah, well, it's working. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of good because we can do this right from the phone. I can do this right from the phone still, so perfect.
Yeah, that's great. So Michael, there was a specific tweet I sent out earlier that I kind of spawned the concept of us having tonight. So I would actually like to hear if you want to present what the tweet was and then your counter.
Okay, let me just go bring it back up real quick. So I can I'll read this on air for everyone to hear, so we can so you said I don't really get the whole lesser of two evils argument when it comes to voting. If it was as simple as just looking at the two most popular and voting for the less shitty one, then why are our presidents getting more and more shitty with every election cycle? And I think a lot of it is because we had that lesser of two evils, but I also think it's because the majority of the country is a bunch of idiots, and also
agreed there for sure.
But also that's also a big because even if they were smart, it's they're still putting out the same people anyways. Because realistically, we were talking about the Democratic debates, and it's I'm more of a Yang guy, and you're more of a Tulsi guy. Yeah. But then it's even still, it's we're only 40% in that camp. So it's we're not even liking these guys, and it's
we got our toe dipped in one camp, but we're mostly in a completely separate place.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a systematic. It ends up being a systematic problem because you saw that Gary Johnson in that last election didn't even get to be on the TV debates.
Mm-hmm.
He made a couple appearances on talk shows, and most of which time they kind of ridiculed him. So it's they don't really even want an extra choice, it seems on the media.
The media.
So but I think when it comes down to the heart of the argument here, and that you're once you're in the election cycle, and you have the choice of either voting with your heart, and maybe your heart is a candidate that has no chance of winning, or you're going to be picking up the two big choices. Mm-hmm. Or you can choose not to vote, and it's I think a lot of people end up choosing not to vote, it's a protest, and it's I'm just gonna be honest with you, the government doesn't give a fuck about your protest fucking staying home.
Yeah.
Like that's just plain and simple. Like,
well, I mean,
for
that
that,
is like, let's just look at this last election, like last presidential election.
yeah,
The majority of people stayed home, didn't vote. Guess what?
yeah,
Trump's still the president. Like,
yeah,
you're fucking your whole like protest of not voting didn't give a shit. Like any politics that come as a result of the presidency, it's not your fault. But you can't be like, my protests made a difference. You know, nobody cares at that point.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of meaningless. Like, yes, at this point, you're in the majority. It only takes, like if you're the majority, until they put it on the ballot, and I'm actually a huge advocate of them putting on the ballot a no president. And I feel like a lot of people who are like heavily non-voter advocates would go vote for a no president option.
And
non-voters would suddenly come out, and then you'd get like a bigger turnout of voting suddenly. People just don't like any of the options they have, so they don't vote. A lot of people are just too cheap, and that's America. But like a lot of people I'm friends with are just like are massively voting in general. And I feel like if they had a no option, they would turn out for that, because it's just like we decline voting in a way, and and that's why I feel like it should be on the ballot. It's just an absolute no option. It should be on every ballot saying we decline voting, so it can actually be counted as like a in a way, like it's kind of like paradoxical, because there's an echo with my sound. I'm not sure if that's
I'm hearing it a little bit, but I mean it's not bad. Let me check back on the
like it. Yeah, that's weird. Like, I
see if we have any comments.
But like I said, this is a whole new system.
Oh yeah, but my girl says there was an echo with Josh's sound, hard to hear. So yeah, I don't know if you can like readjust your headphones. Maybe that will help.
I'm working on that. But it's kind of the same. Hold on. All right.
You sound better now.
You're better now?
It sounds better now.
So I'm trying to drown it out a little bit. I'm like, I'm actually hearing an echo in my thing.
Yeah. Well, you had it good for a second there, and then it kind of dropped back.
All right, let me put back to that setting. I'm still. How's that?
That sounds good. So let's try and roll with that. So I want to say something about your whole no president option, and you know, it kind of goes back to the same thing where it's like, you know, even if they have a no president option and the no president option wins, it's like, one, it's not going to make a difference even in the systematic, because you know you're still going to vote for your representatives, and as long as those representatives are there, they're going to have to make a pick for the presidential pick that is, you know, in line with their constituents.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even have to really even vote with their constituents, and that's why, you know, Ron Paul got an electoral vote in 2016. I forget who else was on the list of guys that, you know, weren't Trump or Hillary that got the electoral write-in.
Gary Johnson actually. Yeah, I still hear that. Gary Johnson actually got I think he actually broke a record in a way of libertarian votes.
Oh yeah. I mean, 5%.
Gary Johnson's a shitty fucking candidate, but
yeah. And there's
for the cause anyway.
there's still an echo. So if you want to try like one more time to see if you can, might be your microphone. Maybe that's it.
Like I don't know if it's the whole system. I settings they usually kind of it's the first time I ever had to.
Yeah.
Weird. How about now? No, I heard that.
Oh, okay.
I actually heard myself talking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. New. We're trying. That's actually a good point. Sorry, I'm reacting.
Yeah. My girl says try taking off your headphones.
Okay, I have my. But I can't actually hear anything. I'm on my wife's computer. So
Can you hear me?
just say if they can hear me.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Then put your headphones back on.
Even with my headphones. Pink Flamingo. I'm asking in the chat if there's still an echo, even without me. Still an echo.
Yeah, it's still echoing a little bit.
Can you hear me? Gnarly. So I have my headphones. I don't know what else I can play. I can't hear a goddamn. Hold on, guys. Shit.
Now, do you have a separate microphone to the headset?
Oh wait, I hear me. So weird.
I was gonna say maybe it's like where the headphone, where the microphone is in proximity to stuff. Like maybe it's like kind of getting feedback back.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be. No. How about now? I'm turning the gain down all the way so I can.
Try turning the volume up on your headphones and back. I think your mic is picking up the sound. That's what.
I turned the gain down all the way. Step up. So I can kind of hear myself. Loud.
Yeah, you're coming in very low, but it doesn't seem as I can.
Down, so it wasn't as like the feedback wasn't as loud. I think it's just the site. I got to hear some site.
Yeah, it might not be the best site. It seems like it's still kind of experimental. And they might not be giving us good service because we don't have the paid version. We only have the beta version.
That could be it too.
It's weird. But it's like, if the beta version doesn't work that well, like how are they gonna sell the membership?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm gonna explore this more and figure it all out. It's weird.
Yeah, we might need to check out a different method to do this because I'm sure there's a better method, honestly.
Most likely. Oh,
well, it sounds like it's going fine right now because I'm not really hearing like a bad echo at least. All right, so
can you still hear me, guys?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! Does that sound better? To the chat?
It sounds better than me. You're lower, but
I'm hearing echo in my headphones. I can still hear you. But there's a super faint echo. So I'm curious as to how this sounds in the chat. I clicked one thing. Oh, nice. Okay. So it sounds like they can hear me a little bit. Okay, it was much quieter.
Yeah.
I clicked one random thing in the settings.
Yeah, I think it. Right. Well, it seems to be doing a lot better now. So let's kind of. I'm gonna go back to my point on,
Yes.
the current system that we have. The Electoral College is just going to kind of grant in a president anyways, and I mean, let's be honest. Like the federal power has just gotten too big, where it's like, I always hear people about like it's usually anarchists, and it's like, oh, you vote, you're a traitor for going in and working with the state with the voting, and it's like, well, until you're ready to actually strike back against the government, like kind of hush up and like
Yeah.
it's like. You're either gonna play their game while they're in the driver's seat, or you're gonna try and knock them off their podium, which I don't see you
That's
doing either.
that's the thing I say to like I have friends that are like adamantly against voting,
Hmm.
and like I'm like, dude, I like 100% understand where you're coming from, that you do not want to partake in a system that you don't believe in, but I'm also like, whether you like it or not, as long as you're in this country, you're going to have to abide by this system's laws. Why would you not
Mm.
want to try to, like, even if it's a far fetch,
Mm.
even if it's voting libertarian and it's a long shot, vote that way. Push
Mm.
your country's laws towards a system that seems more in line with your own. That's where like I because like I have a lot of friends that are like just full blown anarchists. I'm more of a minarchist.
Mm.
So I'm like, well, like I understand where we're living at. I understand, like I mean, I'm kind of a realist in a way. I'm like, we're living in a situation. We have laws. We can't just be like, I don't like these laws. I abstain. You can't just do that because it does nothing. Like you're still in the same
Right.
situation. So I'm like if you want to make a change, you have to like, yeah, you do have to slightly partake in the system to make a change. At least in this specific system. This isn't like like you're in some kind of like Roman Colosseum like slavery kind of thing where you can have an uprising against like the masses or something. It's like
Yeah.
we're in a democracy where like the majority of morons are like, this is how we want it, and
I,
like
I heard it. I heard in
it makes no sense.
there was an interesting quote. I'm not quite sure where it came from or where it was, but it kind of rang true in a lot of ways. Where it's like you know a t- like a tyrant or a king can be taken out with one swing of a sword, and only a puddle of blood. But changing a democracy would take an ocean.
Hmm?
You know what I mean? Like,
For sure. That's I mean like okay that's one of the problems. That's I'm very libertarian. I will say like I grew up and I've admitted this a million times. I grew up very hardcore conservative, but in this day and age, I'm like very much a libertarian. But I'm also
mm,
willing to admit, like, look, we cannot look upon the days of the 1800s and be like, we want a revolution. I'm like, you can't just overthrow your government that way these days. It's not as simple as it was back then. Um, honestly, you can in smaller countries. The USA is too big. Our government is too insane at this
yeah.
point. I feel like
Oh yeah,
so
and you know
in
what?
order
It's
to
like,
actually make a difference in this country, in this kind of a government that we have, is
mm,
to slowly chip away at it. Like it'll take a
yeah.
long time. Like I don't expect to see any kind of like, I don't know, like an amazing progress towards liberty in my time, but I expect to see hopefully a decent progress towards it, and I want to instill that in my kids, and I'm working towards that of like showing this kind of stuff, and being like, you
Mm,
have to work towards liberty. You can't just say I want it and have it happen. You have to actually make an effort, and that's the
mm,
problem I kind of have with people who say I refuse to vote. Voting is violence and this kind of stuff. And I'm like, but what efforts are you making to make a difference? Like you have
Right,
to
right.
put an effort forward.
Yeah, and it's like, like a lot of those people, they're like trying to accomplish anarchy. I'm like, well, you're not going to accomplish anarchy by sitting around talking about Rothbard or whatever other, and you know what I mean. Like you're not gonna invoke anarchy by going on Facebook and saying anarchy isn't chaos, you guys. Like I'm sorry, like that, like I'm
Here,
friends with a lot of anarchists, but they don't make sense to me. Like,
I
I always argue that there's no real such thing as anarchy.
I identify as a minarchist. I fully understand and I respect the concept and the philosophy of anarcho-capitalism. Sorry.
Mm,
I understand and I respect the philosophy, and I even defended it multiple times. And I'm like, it's a
mm.
good philosophy, but I'm like, we can't just tomorrow be that. Like we have a
Yeah.
whole like if we have a country that's the size of some like a continent, like our country is massive. If we
Mm.
want to tell a whole like gigantic group of people, and this is actually a reason I'm like full on for the concept of states seceding from the U.S. because I'm like
Mm.
it's easier to function this in a smaller group to start with at least. I feel like it can work on a bigger massive scale, but like you can't just jump to that. It has to be a progression. Like where people
Right.
understand we work in this system. I mean, we went from a country that was like kind of the concept of like super hardcore anarchist liberty to
Mm.
this insanely statist authoritarian state that we have now. Like we
Oh,
have a
yeah.
massively progressive shift of ideals.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, we cannot just suddenly tomorrow shift to the next day. We need to
Yeah.
slowly change ideas, put our ideas
Yeah.
out there, and that's one of the things that I like. And like, it might be slightly hypocritical of me to say this because like Butte sarcasm and liberty, I like and you know me, like I'm pretty divisive on a lot of stuff. I'm like
Right.
I'm not known for being nice on Twitter, but
Right. Right. No, I think. Oh yeah,
I do like
You see me on Facebook, man. I abuse the hell out of people.
yeah, I'm like, dude, but I do try to like read some bridges if I feel like there's one to be there, like
Mm.
a lot of times, like I've made good friends with, like I have people that follow me now that like I was horrible to at the start, like I was mean to, like I was really mean to, and then we got to talk again, and I was like, you know what, I'm sorry, like I'm sorry I was being so shitty. I realized we actually have a lot more in common, and like we have
Mm.
some common ground and then like we're common followers. Like we actually, like a lot of like I don't know, like not a huge percent, like maybe 5% of the followers we have on Twitter right now started off that way as kind of friends, and even some
Right.
people now I get into it with, and then later on I'm like, yeah, I was sorry, I was like in a shitty mood that day, but like we have common
It,
ground. Like it's fine to disagree every now and then, but like
right. You
it's
know what?
really good to find common ground.
I'm gonna say this on the whole social media thing on the friends and enemies. It
Mm-hmm.
is so much better to have enemies because you know who gives you the most comments. You know who gives you the most reactions. Your enemies.
It's true.
Well, like
No,
your
it's
buddy
true.
your buddy or your fans may give you a nice little like oh like good podcast, man. Like you have the hate, like they're gonna write a whole paragraph about how much they hate what you just said and
Oh,
how much it hurts their feelings or
it's
whatever. Like I
it's
when
sad.
I'm yeah,
But
well
it's so true.
when I'm online, like I constantly taunt people. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am like a straight up aggressor online, and like that's the way I get more exposure, just because like so many people end up going against me. Like I don't think you're in this group, but we have this group called the Thunderdome, and
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be for live debates. And there's like it's kind of a small group. And it's only like it's got like 20 to 30 like really active members when it really comes down to it. But it's like, most of those members are leftists, and it's like I'm constantly like going on video and calling them all morons and like, just like basically trolling the hell out of them to get them to like bait me, like to bait them into an argument that I know I'm gonna um, probably end up winning anyways. Um,
No,
but yeah,
I'll say because I mean our followers would know I personally mostly deal with Twitter. Um,
mm,
our most successful Twitter posts have been the ones that have been the most controversial.
mm-hmm.
It's been somebody that got annoyed with something I said and retweeted it or responded to it, and all of the people that agree with me are just like fuck this guy, and then all the people that
Yep.
agree with that guy are like fuck these people, and it starts a massive Twitter war, and I'm like that's always the
Mm.
thing. It's never the ones that everybody agrees with.
Yeah,
Those are
and
popular, but it's never the
perfect.
ones. It's never the ones that everybody agrees with. It's always the controversial posts.
Yep. Oh yeah. Like perfect example of this. Since we are talking about elections and the lesser evils, Donald Trump. Do you, his name was spoken over and over and over on the news, and they weren't trying to promote him. They were trying
Oh
to
no.
degrade him. But what happened was,
No,
you
where are you
know,
going with this?
not 9 out of 10 people that were voting that were normal people. Oh, do you know who's running for president? I'm like, well, not me because I know I'm more politically active, but I'm playing the part of a normal person. Well, I hear the guy Trump's name all the time, and I think that maybe there's Hillary Clinton, but isn't that the lady that just like couldn't even get the blowjob done with Bill? Like, why am I gonna vote for her? And it's like. Yeah, like all I basically know is Trump and maybe a little bit of Hillary because
Okay.
I put on the news and everywhere I see Trump, 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 it's all terrible things. But that's the name that's being
No.
put in front of you.
Okay. I don't know if you heard this story before. I told it a few times, but I don't think you specifically have heard this story. Um, and this is what's funny to me. This is why I'm cracking up because I was in elementary school when Bill Clinton was up for re-election, and I think I was in fourth grade. I want to say fourth grade. That might not be right, but I want to say fourth grade. Um, the like one of the more I don't know successful smart kids in our class was doing some kind of a school photo thing, and I
Yeah.
remember him calling me, and he was like, "Who would you vote for?" And then he listed the names, and I remember him saying blah 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 blah. I'm like, what's that fucker's name? Nader. I
Nader,
remember
yeah.
Nader, Bob Dole, and Clinton. And at the time, I'm like, who the fuck are
Oh no, not
those
Nader.
two
You're thinking of
guys? I'm
you're
like,
thinking of Ross Perot. Ross
Ross
Perot.
Perot. Yes, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you, thank you. Ross Perot. I was but I remember sitting there thinking, I was like, who the fuck is Ross Perot and Bob Dole? I don't know who those guys are. I was like, I know Clinton because he's already our president. So I was
Mm.
Clinton? And he's like, okay. I'm and that's
Yeah.
one of the things where whenever I go to, because I'm like, yeah, Trump's probably going to be our president again. Because I'm
Yeah.
when it comes to a lot of people, they're going to be they're going to look at everybody and then be like, who is that asshole? I know Trump. Who's that guy?
Yeah. And
Trump.
you know what?
And
It's
that's
pretty.
why it's so funny to me. Why it's so funny to me is because then I'm like, holy crap, the average voter is no smarter than a fourth grader. Because that's where my mind was at that point.
Right.
You guys don't know any more than I did when I was so fucking little.
Yeah,
That's
and
just
it's
so
like
sad to me. But it's true.
a lot of people. It's like they're working, they're raising a family, and they have their own hobbies. It's like I think we kind of overestimate what it is because our hobby happens to be politics.
For sure.
And I think a lot more people just need to be more into politics for things to actually change. And if not,
Definitely.
those are the people that shouldn't be voting. Like, if you haven't thought about your decision for more than 5 minutes, you should stay your ass home because you know what? Like, if it takes you longer to drive to the voting booth than you did thinking about your vote, you shouldn't fucking vote. I'm sorry.
Okay, Michael, just real quick, take your phone, pull up a map, like send it to our chat so we can meme that. That's great. Um,
I'll watch it. I'll
that
watch it back later because I don't really have like something handy right now.
no, that's
We're
fine.
at
Have
we're
her
we're at
remind,
minute
like, if
we're
your
at
girlfriend's
minute
still
30. I'll
watching,
remember that.
if she's been able to like stand this long, have her remind you. That was genius. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
We need to meme that right away.
Mm.
Especially while elections are hot. That was
Mm.
amazing. But no, I
Yeah.
fully agree because, like, here's the funny thing is, during the last election, my daughter goes to private school,
Yeah.
and I mean my son now, but he didn't at the time. He was too young. My daughter went to private school, and her private school goes from pre-K to sixth grade. No,
Mhm.
that's not right. Eighth grade,
Right.
like
Okay.
elementary to middle school in most of the U.S. as a whole. Like pre-K to eighth grade,
Mm.
everything but high school. So they did a school-wide election, like a mock election. And
Mm.
my daughter, like Zoe, she was like, "Well, who are you guys voting for?" And me and my wife were like, "Well, why are you asking? Like, we wanted to know why." And
All
I'm
right.
wondering, first of all, I'm like, how many times you've been asked the question? And she's like, "Well, we're doing an election." I mean, my wife are both like, "Well, we're voting for Gary Johnson," and I'm glad that my daughter's first. I'm glad that Zoe's first question to that was, "Why? Why are we
Mm.
voting for him?" And me and my
Right.
wife had to explain. I was like, "Well, this is why," and because like this is the thing. Like, and here's I'm gonna give a quick plug to the Tuttle Twins. It's a book series that Connor, fuck, I can't remember your last name.
Julie Borowski.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, I think that's right. He's a good dude. He's an amazing dude, and we're gonna have him on the live stream sometime soon. I've already talked to him, and I'm so sorry, dude. I can't remember your last name. Um, I'm so
Wait,
bad.
no. Isn't the Tuttle Twins Julie Borowski?
Not Julie Borowski. She plugs the fuck out of them, but it's not
Oh, okay.
Connor.
Yeah. She's just a spokesperson.
Yeah,
Okay.
Julie's a good person too. I love Julie, but
Yeah.
Connor
Well,
is like
I like Julie except for her opinion about Harambe. So,
yeah,
Julie, in the odd event that you are watching the show, that is probably much been very beneath you in the libertarian ladder.
that is not
You're all right, but
whatsoever.
just change your opinion of Harambe, or it's going to be a problem. You can't go far in the libertarian community without paying homage to Harambe and honoring the great spirit of Harambe.
All right.
You have to be down. You have to be down with two things: freedom and Harambe to be part of the libertarian movement.
Julie, if like some miracle you're watching this, I still love you. I don't like Taylor Swift, but I still love you.
Yeah.
I don't agree with your Harambe opinions either. I don't like
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, but
Harambe did nothing wrong.
we still love you. Don't worry. Don't unfollow me on Twitter. But no, like
I'm just giving constructive criticism. Like
no, no, no.
I know
Julie's
what
a
the
good
people
person.
want.
Everybody's fallible. Julie's a good person, but she's
Right.
sad. I've
Yeah.
called her out on her stuff a few times. At places she's ignored me because I'm not on her radar
Yeah.
very much. But
Yeah.
she's only like added me a few times.
Yeah.
But no, like the Tuttle Twins, they're good people. Like they put out a series of kid books.
Yeah.
The Tuttle Twins. It's a boy and a girl, like little kid twins, and their parents are very obviously libertarian, and a lot
Yeah.
of their book,
They
a
have a
lot of their
Bastiat one too, right?
yeah, a lot of their book titles are like kind of references to very hardcore like libertarian, like one of them is like the creature of Jekyll Island. They have the something like the miracle of the pencil. Like basically the concept of there's nobody knows how to make a pencil, which is the whole. And I
Yeah,
thought
the Milton Friedman one.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Like no one person can make a pencil. It takes a community.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically if anyone here is unfamiliar with it, it's basically like he's saying like, you got the eraser that's made of this, which has to be mined from here, and like all these processes and all these processes, and it's like all these people come together, to manufacture these pencils so that you can pick it up at your Staples for 25 cents.
That was one of their first books of Hub Twins. It was like because it was
Yeah,
like the miraculous.
I love.
Just look up the title. It's like Puttle Twins.
Yeah.
That was one of the
Well,
first books.
on
My
on.
daughter fucking loved it. And you know what it was
Mm.
about? It's about a school, like a school group going to a pencil factory and learning how pencils are made.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter at the time is 5. And she wanted me to read that shit to her every fucking night.
Oh.
It sounds like the most boring goddamn book ever, but she loves it. Like,
Yeah.
she loves Tuttle Twins. Like, at first, because, like, it's funny because, like, I got into the first Tuttle Twins because she heard the titles and she's like, that sounds really exciting. Like, it sounds interesting. And I started reading to her. And, like, at first she's like, well, it's kind of boring, Like, it's just like, these are some kids going to a fucking factory. Like, who cares? She didn't say those words, but, she's just like, nobody cares. And then, like, the more I get into it, she's like, huh. Like, that's kind of interesting. And then, like, one of the things that I'm always constantly talking to, like, the creators of the Tuttle Twins, like, the writers and the artists and stuff, and I'm just like, my daughter, those books have been huge on her path to libertarianism because, like, I'll stop at the page. I'm like, well, what do you think? And we have a conversation. And then I remember there's one. It wasn't even the subject of the book, but all I remember was there was like a picture and some sign that was like it wasn't. I don't want to say like because I can't remember. It was something similar to like Tax the Rich kind of thing. It had a conversation with her. So it was like, well, does it make sense, if you have more money than your friends, to have somebody say like, hey, you need to give some money to your friends? And she's like, I guess maybe. And I'm like, okay, does it make sense if that money that this other person is saying you have to give to your friends, if that's money you would earn? Like you worked hard for that money and you earned it on your own. Is that fair? And she's like, no, that's not okay. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, doesn't it shouldn't be, like I was literally challenging her on this stuff. And I'm like, why should you not give your money to somebody else that has less than you? And she's like, that's my money. Well, she's like, I need that money. It's like, if I have enough money, I will help somebody. It is my money. I get to decide what I do with it. Kind of like that was the position, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, I cannot possibly be anymore.
And you know what? Like, I'm sorry. Like, even if you're the most left wing person, you are right wing as fuck with your money. You know.
Like that was a thing, and it's funny because like I was challenging her on this, and that was she was just like, no, that's mine. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, like, to be fair, like, I have raised my kid in a very kind of capitalist environment. As young as the age of 3, has understood the concept of earning her own money. Because she comes with me, because, I mean, for our one viewer that's still watching apparently, which is probably your girlfriend.
Yeah. No, but someone named Gas Mask.
Oh yeah, I just see a mic check. I'm gonna try now. So My daughter is like young as the age of 3, and she's almost 4 at this point. She comes over here to a lot of comic conventions,
Mm.
and from a very, very young age, she has been drawing her own artwork and selling it. And she
Mm.
was, I want to say, about like she's a little older than 5. The first weekend where she earned over $100 totally on her own.
Mm. Nice. That's awesome.
It was all her.
Um.
I mean,
Mm.
she bought her own stuff. We like let her do what she wanted with it. That was her money. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't argue with it at that point. It was like, I mean, like you're drawing this stuff. You were selling. Like we let her sell it to people. You know,
Mm.
like she would talk to the customers. Like she understood how this worked. She
Yeah.
also like after a little while she understood things like profits because it was like, hey, it costs money to purchase a table at these conventions. So
Yeah.
she understood, hey,
Yeah.
she would go in with for like with me and a friend on a table, you know, and she would sell her stuff like for part of the table. So she understood like, hey, we're all like going in on this table. So she would
Mm.
insist on putting her money towards the table, you know, like so much of my money is going towards the table. And
Mm.
that's not even like just that's like the like the minimal responsibility of her with her money. Like she like I would okay, like even today, right? My mirror is broke on my car.
Gas mask says he can barely hear you, but I'm
I
sounding okay.
I have adjusted my mic. I'm hoping that's better right now.
Yeah, you're coming in fine on my end.
Yeah, I
But
know it's kind of weird.
I kind of wanted to shift it back because you started talking about the Tuttle twins and
Yes, I got
how they kind of like use real economic philosophers
for
to
sure they
make
do.
their points.
Hmm.
And I did want to say real quick about those interested in the pencil thing we were talking about. If you just YouTube Milton Friedman pencil, it is a very quick 3-minute video, and it's a very good argument. If like it's something I love to share when I'm getting into arguments with leftists about how the economy actually works. Um, the Tall Twins also have like a book on Frederick Bastiat, I think. The Law, that's
Yes, they
another
do.
economic and libertarian essential, pretty much.
No, the Tuttle Twins actually have a ton of books. They have ones on Basquiat. They have ones on fuck, what's the name? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
You said his name earlier. Oh, god damn. Sorry. They're kind of all over. I know Basquiat's one of them, and I have one of his fucking books, and I can't think of his name. It starts with an F.
Thomas Sowell?
No, it starts with an F.
Friedman.
Friedman, thank you.
Yeah.
Thing, fucking out there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to step away from the computer for too long because, like, I'm not. Like, like, I literally have some of them a few feet away from me, but I don't want to go grab them. But most of them are actually upstairs, and like more of a
Oh,
different
yeah.
topic.
You think you were going to be talking about the books today?
Yeah, no, I don't want to
But
go
yeah,
off,
like,
like, because actually one of the things I want to do is have my daughter come on a stream and talk about the books because
yeah.
she is way bigger of a fan. Like, because I was like, oh, this sounds cool, and I got them for her, but she actually became way bigger of a fan than I like, could have possibly hoped for. Where she's
Right.
like, because like I'm like, like I read her book at bedtime, and then she's all like, can we read one of the Tuttle Twins books? And I'm just like, because it takes a little bit longer, because they're
Right.
like there's like way more text than there
Yeah.
is like pictures, and the pictures are amazing. The artist is so good at them.
Yeah.
It's just so much text, and then I'm like, should just be like, can we read a Tuttle Twins book? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we'll be going, and then we'll be going, and then we'll get like 2 pages in, and then we have like a half-hour long discussion. And I'm like, you need to go fucking sleep, kid.
Right. All right. Well, so this doesn't become a 10-minute advertisement for the Tuttle Twins. I think we I kind of want to say on the
Tuttle Twins. Go check them out. If you have kids, stop watching our stream and go check them out. Now.
No, keep watching our stream because your kids should be asleep by now. So they're good. They're good for right now. Just keep watching the stream.
No, for now. If you're watching this in retrospect,
Josh, you can't be telling people to stop watching the stream while we're trying to stream, but
I'm drunk. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me for a second. Pause the stream if you're watching this stream. Just go look at the Tuttle Twins and then come back to the stream later.
Don't listen to them. Just look it up later, or if you have a secondary device. So I wanted to kind of bring it back to staying on topic, but kind of bring it into a new sphere. You're right there, Josh?
No, staying on topic is not my jam.
So I think the big problem is and I'm not even talking about political things, but just economic, basic economics, learn this stuff in school. We never learned this in school.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't.
If you had a bit of common sense, you picked it up pretty easily, throughout working and throughout, living your experience. Because when I was in high school,
just a quick callback to somebody says they're having. I think that's your girlfriend. They're having a hard time hearing me. What am I doing on this thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
If I'm getting really loud all of a sudden, it's not my fault. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, she said it's a slight echo.
Okay, so call back to what I was saying earlier is with my daughter. She has way more sense now than I did when I was her age. Do you feel like that is kind of a good picture of how we can make a difference?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Slowly push that. So I do feel like some of what you were saying before, just about to say Michael, was kind of on that concept. I'm sorry to cut you off. Continue.
Yeah. Well, I think what we should be talking about, and I'm as against forcing things into education, as any libertarian, but if you're gonna have a curriculum for children, and I'm not talking about you need to learn this shit by kindergarten, but I think by the time you're 12, 13 years old, and before you start your first job at 14, 15, whether it's a paper boy or working at McDonald's or something, you should learn basic economics, and that's just missing from so many people. And I explained if you're smart and you learn from experience as you're going through, when I was coming out of high school, I was probably way more left-leaning, especially in the economic department, because it's just it's more of a culture thing. You are influenced by musicians and stuff, and
you're influenced by your surroundings.
Yeah, and they're saying certain things. You're yeah, that's and then you start living life, and then you start kind of coming up with your own conclusions of things on how things are going, and then.
I'm not sure if this is where you're going with it, but I do want to add, just real quick. I do feel as our technology kind of grows and our social media sphere expands, our concept of the world expands. And that's the thing. I think of myself when I was literally. I think of where my daughter is now, where she is in school now. I was literally a year younger. I had no clue who was running for president.
Right.
My daughter was No, she's in third grade. 3 years younger than I am at that point. And she knew exactly who all was running for president, what they stood for, and why she would not vote for specific people, and why she would vote for the person she did. And I do want to give a shout out to my daughter for in that whole like microcosm of private school system she was in, pre-K all the way until 8th grade. She was literally in that whole mock election they did the only person in the entire school system that voted Libertarian.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome.
It was amazing. Like, I've never felt prouder, honestly. I mean, I will say, my daughter, she's going to be 9 years old next week. Her birthday's on Friday. So
awesome. Happy birthday to her.
Thank you. And my son's birthday was yesterday, too.
Happy belated term.
And I'm like, birthdays are fucking close together. No other parent without kids birthday parties close together understand why it's so fucking annoying. But no, today she learned how to ride a bicycle without training wheels. Like, just
awesome.
Perfect. Yeah, she was so good at it. I was so proud. But seriously, I have never been more proud than that day she told me I voted for Gary Johnson, and I was told I was the only person in the entire school that voted Libertarian.
Right. Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit, kid! I cannot possibly love you more because she did not vote for who we told her, which I feel like is what a lot of the kids did. Because like me and my wife were both like, if you're gonna vote for somebody, I want you to vote for somebody you feel like I agree with. And she was in. It was 2 years ago. Fuck, what year is it?
Yeah, 2019. So it's about 3 years. It's almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah, she's gonna turn 9 next week. So she was like. I don't know. 7 or 8. Yeah, 7.
Thank
you for the math, dude. She was 7. I'm gonna say 7.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at being a dad. No, I'm just.
No, you're bad at math. Yeah. But speaking of math,
and she was like, she wasn't just like, who are you voting for? She was like, why are they voting for this person? And me and my wife both had to be like, well, okay,
yeah, that's a very good.
Like, me and my wife were both like, here are the options we see. This is why we're voting for this specific person. Do we think this person might win? No. Do we think this person is better than the other people? Very much yes. Does this person adhere to a lot more of the ideals we agree with? Very much yes. Compared to everybody else. We're not like a huge fan of this person, but we feel like, hey, this person is somebody worth voting for. And like we explained all this to her in like greater detail now because God forbid anybody actually listened to what I just said. But like she listened to us and then like she stuck with it. She knew her options and she stuck with Libertarian option. And I'm proud of her for that because we really did explain to her what her options were. And all of her friends voted for other people. She was literally the only person in an entire school system of pre-K to 8th grade that voted Libertarian. And she stuck with that. She refused to change. And from what I heard, she was challenged on it. And she said, no, Gary Johnson.
Okay,
like
yeah.
She said, no, Libertarian. That's who I'm sticking with. And I'm like, I've never been because I'm like she at that age she can't really understand the implications of all the stuff you said. She understood what it meant, though. She understood
Right.
the purpose of what we were going for. Like Gary Johnson isn't the best person on earth, and if I tomorrow could vote for a better person, I would in a heartbeat. But she also knew this person aligned with more of at that point what she understood, and that kind of let me know, hey, I'm teaching my kids the right things, and that's one of the things I like to talk a lot about, because I like to say, hey, do not hesitate. Don't indoctrinate your children. Teach your
Right.
children. Let them figure it out for themselves. Show them the options. Let them figure it out for themselves. Because if you try to direct them on a point, you're going to direct them the wrong way. I have never told my and I'm going to take my son out of the equation because he's too young. I have never told my daughter what to think. I have given her options. And I even argued against what I have actually believed. And she's chosen the other thing.
Right.
She's constantly been more libertarian than I've ever been.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
She chooses that. But that's the thing. Is if you don't explain all of the options, you can't just say right or left. You have to say everything. If you cannot teach your children, and that's something I would say. Harking back to what this whole stream was even initiated on. I do not me personally. It's annoying to me that there's this concept that there's right versus left. And everybody it's just well, I have to pick one or the other. Because that's how I grew up, and it's annoying.
Well, I mean, I guess it.
Better.
I guess it.
Let me finish the thought, and then I'll let you kind of give a final thought, and then maybe we can wrap it up.
All right. Yep.
I would say to anybody else that ends up watching this now or in the future, it's important to pass on to the next generation the concept of you do not have two choices, and teach them look, there's this spectrum here. There's this whole thought of beliefs, and it's okay to disagree. You do not have to agree with your neighbor. My daughter and her best friend in the world, Zoe's birthday is next week. She's gonna be 9. Her best friend in the world, luckily her parents are slightly libertarian leaning, so it's easy for us to get along. But they're also they're kind of slightly more right leaning also. But her daughter's also I wouldn't give a fuck if her daughter, her parents are just super hardcore leftists or super hardcore right people. I'm gonna let them be friends, So I'm not gonna have this prejudice. Don't insert this prejudice into your kids' lives. Don't let them think that you cannot be friends with people. Don't let them think that your ideas cannot touch other people's hearts. Just be who you're gonna be throughout life. What you feel like is the most appropriate thing in life, and hope that it's going to touch other people. But if it doesn't, you can't control it. The biggest thing I'm constantly telling my kids. Constantly telling my kids to the point that I think they're annoyed by it. But I'm you cannot control what other people do. It annoys me because they've heard it so much that it annoys them. But I'm you cannot control what other people do. You cannot tell them what you want them to do. You cannot tell them what you would prefer them to do. You just need to let people be people. You can put your own opinions out there. You can discuss it with them. You can talk to them. You can debate with them, but you can't tell them what they need to believe.
Right.
Just be yourself. And let that speak for itself, And that's one of the things I would say to every libertarian. And even if you're not libertarian, if you're right-wing, if you're left-wing, if you feel so strongly in your ideas, live your life, let those ideas speak for themselves, not telling people what you feel like they should believe or what they need to believe. Just be you and this is even when I tell religious people, be you, and make other people be like, yeah, that makes more sense. Just be the person you're gonna be, and be appealing. Make your life, make your beliefs seem appealing, not push it. Don't ever push yourself on other people. I'm lucky enough that my kids are like smart enough to have I'm quite say my son, he literally just turned 5 yesterday. He's kind of a little bit young to understand that concept, but my daughter, who's turning 9 next week, um, she's got it. She understands. She doesn't push herself on people. She kind of comes across as shy. She's a little bit, she's into herself. But once you get to know her, she's a social butterfly. She'll talk the world to you, but she doesn't want anybody else to feel like they have to be her friend or have to think the same way she thinks, kind of thing. She's kind of she comes across as shy in that way, but I'm rambling here. I'm sorry. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I want to say libertarians out there, just like the left and the right, whoever you are, whoever might be watching this stream now or in the future, just do never think you need to force your opinion. Just focus on yourself. Be who you think you want everybody else to be. Because if what you feel like is right is really so good, other people will catch on.
Right. And
Michael, I'm legitimately sorry I ranted for so long. I'm gonna give you it's probably gonna wrap up soon. So
right.
Last words. However long you need, man, go.
Well, I did kind of want to say something about how we have this left-right paradigm, and I think it's become there's a couple different squadrons of this left-right paradigm. I think the main one is economics, and I think that one's becoming more of the focal point now. And I mean, it's kind of scary that it's getting to that point because I mean, it's just been a historical thing that's happened where it's the two clashing sides of ideologies. And it's I kind of feel in a lot of ways that I'm less of a libertarian and more of a right wing economist because historically I think that's a much better method. But when you're really talking about it, it's always been this historical shift, and it's just an inevitable thing. So I think the people that are saying oh, there's no left, there's no right, there's only free. It's no, there's a historical paradigm shift that is just inevitably. I'm not gonna say it's inevitably gonna happen, but it's been happening historically back and forth for as long as it's been recorded.
Bro, I'm sorry, I had my mic turn off for a second. I was gonna say that was an amazing point. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I gotta say on that because I mean, if you look through history, my personal favorite to dig up is the Chianti Revolt, which happened in the 1200s, which a lot of communists kind of look at as the first original. I'm trying to think of the right word.
Michael,
but
DM me about that. We need to a whole stream to unpack that. That's an amazing.
Oh I might have to do that one.
No, DM me directly. I need to make a personal note about that.
Okay.
That is an amazing point.
Yeah, but so. You see it in the Chianti Revolt and the French Revolutions. The biggest known one, the Communist Revolution in Russia, and it's you keep seeing this shift in economic power, and you look back to it historically, and the left side always ends up usually 3 years. I mean. It's a little bit longer, but I mean, they're doomed from the get-go.
No,
So you don't want to go in that direction.
A little more than 3 years just because of FDR. But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we didn't completely abandon the capitalist system.
No, not then. Yeah, but they
right.
It,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like I'll agree with you. Like we went really left at that point, and like go an interesting thing if anyone is still watching either live or
I think
afterwards.
Watching them, but...
yeah, or maybe even afterwards. If you look at the depreciation of gold value during FDR's thing, it is like a fucking plummet. Like
no, I know what you're going. Like that's one of the things. Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off again. Just one of the things I want to point out is, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times, Michael, is the whole oh no, Republicans and Democrats switched back in the day, and I'm like, it's always before FDR took office, and I'm like, oh, so you're saying Republicans are to blame for all this shit FDR created? And then they get all quiet.
Right, yeah, because they love FDR.
No, fucking, they loved FDR. He was an asshole.
Right.
He gave it, he put Japanese people in internment camps. Of course they fucking.
Right. I mean, he had a lot of things. Like he wasn't too good to the farmers. I talked about he robbed people of gold, and like I said, you saw the depreciation of gold after that point.
I hate him. Sorry.
FDR fucked everything up.
No, fuck that guy. Sorry, anyone who's following this channel.
You know what? Like FDR,
feel free to tweet me at sarcasm_liberty.
You know what? FDR. I'm gonna try and close on this, but FDR fucked up so bad that he tricked a fucking Russian immigrant into voting for him. She got pissed off at how much of a fucking communist he fucking turned into, and then she wrote a fucking book called. No. So he got this. He tricked this Russian immigrant into voting for him, and she got so pissed off that he ended up being too much like the old Russian socialists that she ended up writing a book called Atlas Shrugged. FDR created Ayn Rand. All right. I think that's a good point to end on right there.
Jesus Christ. This was so bad. Seriously, I don't think there's anybody else I would do a one-on-one stream with other than you.
I appreciate it, man.
Oh god, I don't know if I could carry a conversation for more than an hour. Just so fucking well. End up laughing. So look at my fucking hair. I'm sweating from laughing. My hair looks just ridiculous.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry.
Yeah, I'm still laughing at myself. I mean, it's true. FDR created Ayn Rand. Can you load that on your conscience, lefties?
I think leftists' heads would explode if they actually had to.
Yeah. My favorite Ayn Rand joke is Aristotle said even women could be philosophers, and then Ayn Rand refuted that.
That's actually funny because my wife is a philosopher. It's actually a really good one.
Yeah, I like your wife. She's good people.
She would probably laugh at that because she's also a libertarian.
Yeah, I mean, it's like less. It's like not trying to be like a knock on women. It's more supposed
No,
to be
it's
just a
not
knock on Ayn
sexist.
Rand.
It's just like
Yeah, like it is kind
according
of
to
a
the
terrible. It is kind
time.
of a terrible. It is kind of a terrible joke because it kind of like takes a hit on women, but
Okay,
it's aimed at
just
Ayn Rand.
I want to say like anybody who like my wife is super hardcore libertarian. She's I mean like a couple shades below like me. I apologize for my hair. Michael didn't really take my hat off actually. But my wife is so libertarian, but she's also so hardcore philosopher. My son's middle name is Aristotle.
Really
Not even joking.
awesome.
Ender Aristotle. That is his name. His first name was named after a sci-fi book. His second middle name. His middle name was a philosopher. That was both of our favorite philosophers. Well, I mean, my second favorite, but that was one of her favorite philosophers.
Hmm.
So we both agreed on it. I was like,
All right.
hey, if you're first name
Elizabeth.
is good.
Hold on, Elizabeth. If you're still watching, if we ever have a kid, his middle name's gonna be Voltaire.
Is that your girlfriend's name? Is Elizabeth?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's just Elizabeth. That's super adorable. I think that's the first time I've actually known your name. If it's not, I'm sorry. I better forgot. I'm sure I'm called it.
Yeah, I don't think you really like. I say
I
formally,
don't
but
know most of the streams I've been on.
I mean, I say formally, but by formally I mean like you probably never like interacted with her on a Facebook comment,
I have
like you know what I mean?
interacted with her except apparently on the stream. I know
Yeah,
who she
yeah,
is
because
now,
yeah,
and I'm gonna remember that for the next 15 seconds before I pass out.
yeah. That's the only way. Like I said, you don't really know her. She knows you because she watches the streams a lot. So
I feel sorry for watching my streams. Because I'm not fun to watch. I'm an asshole. But I don't know why I have so many followers on Twitter. Like when me and Jason started this shit, and like at that point when her Twitter followers were higher than her Facebook, I'm like, why? I'm the only one tweeting on Twitter. And several people doing Facebook stuff. Why would anybody listen? Oh shit! I almost shot my glass over. Sorry. That happens. I was like, why would people listen to anything we have to say? Hi Elizabeth. I see your tweet. I see your messages. Hello. I'm drunk. I'm beyond drunk and high at this point. I'm probably like whatever interactions you have with Michael at this point. I apologize for keeping you sleep.
Well, I'm up late usually, anyways.
I don't usually have my hat off for the stream, and this is kind of embarrassing. My hair is never this long either. It's usually actually bald.
Oh, it's not as long as my. Hold on, give me a second.
Hello. No, your hair is worse than mine. No, I don't want to say worse than mine. Your hair actually looks better than mine. My hair is just more ridiculous than yours.
All right.
Your hair.
But yeah.
No. Okay, Michael. I'm gonna say this, and no homo, but your hair is far more attractive than mine.
Thank you.
Mine just looks ridiculous. My wife actually agrees that I look better bald, but like I've just stopped shaving my head in about like 2 years.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're gonna fully close this out, but I'm gonna have to take off for right now.
I thought we were like for a moment I was just like, hey, I'm talking to a friend.
Oh yeah, but I
apologize to anybody watching now and in the future.
Yeah,
Mike does have a sexy hair. Okay. To adjust the chat. Mike certainly has a sexy head of hair. So I think we should end this podcast on Mike.
Well, thank you.
I'm gonna go out of frame for a second. Mike,
go
for it. There it is. All right. That's a good way to end the podcast, I think. On Mike's hair. Sorry, girls. He's taken.
right? All right, man. Yep.
I have no